Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer Roberts and this is True Divine. You're either finding me on YouTube, which the channel is True Divine 44, or on my Facebook page, which is just True Divine. You can find me on either of those with all of the information about what I do and the daily energy reads and much more, the general monthly reads. We're building the channel up, we're building the page up, and thank you for all of the support thus far. So this is a daily energy read for the 4th of February 2020. There's weird energies going on right now. A lot of people are avoiding it and it's chasing them down. It's self-chasing self, things that we don't want to look at, things that we know we need to look at and we're avoiding doing so. So you know that there's that kind of weird energy around, and the cards seem to reflect that today, in that the first card is the Ace of Wands. Now a positive card, you know, full of passion, full of desire, new start, a fiery new start, you know, things that, you know, a fire in your tummy about something. But being clarified with the Seven of Cups reversed, for me this Ace of Wands has turned into, for a lot of people, an avoidance tool, putting lust, time and energy into something that is more of a distraction rather than a aid, a help, something that is positive. This distraction tool, doing everything you possibly can, probably out of lust, to distract yourself from looking at what you need to look at within, what you might need to change in your physical life, and what you might need to change in your spiritual life and your inner gardens. So there's definite avoidance of energies that need to come in. Be far better to put the energies into this wand with real passion, real drive, something that really serves you, something that you do with this wand that makes you feel, which can be good, makes you feel great afterwards, something that nourishes you, something that doesn't take away from you, rather than using this wand in a lustful way and afterwards feeling drained, afterwards feeling, sometimes wishing that you hadn't gone there again, you hadn't done that again, whatever that is, rather than looking at what you need to look at, you know, to turn these cups the right way up and move on maybe to the Eight of Cups, where you're moving forward, you're moving away from something that doesn't serve you anymore. The second card being the Hermit reversed. So again, where the Hermit would usually, you know, the major arcana coming in, it would be usually he has this light, and he is the real aid, the real warrior that helps you look within self and see what lessons you need to transmute, what you need to look at to heal old wounds, what you need to look at to grow spiritually, physically, you know, just have the capacity to look within, fix the things within and reflect that in your outside, in your physical life, in your spiritual life. But he's upside down. So there's this feeling of avoidance again, this burying your head in the sand. Now, I think this, for a lot of people, is on the minor scale of self, in that, you know, there's a lot of avoidance of looking at why we're so dissatisfied, why we're not on the right path, why we feel like we haven't been doing the right things that really feed us emotionally, physically and spiritually, but also on a wider scale. There's this feeling for me of, there's a lot of truths coming out at the minute about, you know, constructs that we've been living under for a lifetime, you know, services that we've used for a lifetime and being made out to be something, and, you know, these so-called conspiracy theories that are coming out, that aren't so much theories anymore. You know, we're finding out that there's more to these theories, that, you know, there is truth behind the fact that these constructs, these services may not have ever been set up in a way that was truly benevolent towards the masses. To clarify that, we've got another major arcana being, I'll get it up here, the Divine Feminine, the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is really making sure, which is quite uncomfortable, she's being the Divine Mother here in these two cards, in that a mother who truly loves her children, it's not all nicey all the time, although it's always done out of love. but almost forcing a child, forcing as a person to look at what's going on, to look at the truths, because she brings in that deep knowledge, the true knowledge, the truth, the intuition. So as much as you're trying to bury your head in the sand, say about, governments, these constructs we've been living under, this divine feminine sort of isn't letting up, and that as much as you try and bury yourself, she's bringing in that support. It may not feel like support, because it may feel like your world is completely changing, these illusions that you've been living under, what the F kind of thing. But she's continuing to do it. She's not letting up. She's showing you the truth behind things, the deep knowing, and because it's this deep knowing, as much as you try and hide from it, that's going to make it worse for yourself, whether it's on the minor scale in your own life, or whether it's involving the wider scale of these truths coming out worldwide about the way people have been treated, the way people have been manipulated. She's not going to let up on this. She's going to keep bringing in that knowledge, bringing in that intuition, that knowing. So as much as you try and fight against it, as much as you try and bury your head in the sand, think no, keep everything the same, she's going to keep coming in with that support, loving support, but feeling quite harsh, because it's not what you want to hear, it's not what you want to see, it's not pleasant. So on your own scale, for these cards, it's to be brave enough to turn this Hermit the right way up. And for these two major arcanas, these two, the divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy in these two cards, to work together. Because with this card the right way up, this is a very powerful mix. As the divine feminine, the high priestess, is bringing in this deep knowledge, this deep knowing, this intuition, there the Hermit is working alongside to sort of figure out what's being brought to light, what's being brought into your consciousness, to really look at it, to really transmute it into something that you can deal with, and ultimately something you can use and move on from in a practical and spiritual way, in a good way. So try and turn that Hermit the right way up, and try and just embrace this deep intuition that's coming in, these truths that are being told in our own lives and on the wider scale. The third card being the Two of Pentacles. So this eternal, this eternity sort of 8 type shape, the cycles. There's a feeling though in this card of, for me, again with the rest of the reading being as it is, that people are sort of juggling. They're sort of walking on a tightrope almost of, choosing one way or the other. And where this juggler is very skilled at bringing things into balance and keeping the cycle going, which way are you going to choose to go? Which way are you going to go back into illusionary matrix type thought patterns? Or are you going to be brave and are you going to go with the truth and balance out these two? And bring balance and truth into your life. And yes, it might be a bit uncomfortable at first, but far easier to juggle if you're living in your own truths, if you're living in your own light, and choosing your own path, rather than the cycle just continuing as is and almost choosing for you, almost funneling yourself into that situation. I say that because the Ten of Cups comes out, and the Ten of Cups being reversed. So where usually the Ten of Cups would signify perfect alignment, perfection, elation, bliss, this is reversed, and it's this feeling again of dissatisfaction, this feeling again of, this, I don't like that way, which way am I going? This almost feeling of free fall. And I do feel it's to do with these two cards, this deep, powerful energy in the middle of this reading of the Hermit and the High Priestess. The Hermit trying to encourage you to look at these things truthfully, to see through these illusions with this lantern, to really be brave enough to look into self and look into things and see the truth behind them, and the divine feminine being there to really bring in the deep intuition, the just inner knowing of whether it's right or wrong. truthful or lies. So this feeling of dissatisfaction, because there's such an avoidance there of all of that energy that is there to try and help, but at the minute for a lot of people it doesn't feel like it is there to help. It feels like it's there to sort of unbalance them, to make them drop these pentacles, to make them, you know, mess up this cycle that they've come to know so well that they can just juggle in their sleep. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, although there's such greatness and such alignment out there when we come out of illusion. Sometimes it's easier to just stay juggling the same pentacles, the same cycles, because it's what we've come to know, and not necessarily love, but definitely come to know. So there's the need for that bravery to be there, to be able to break cycles, to be able to start new cycles, to write new history, you know, to bring things into balance rather than juggling them all the time and being on this tightrope, and bringing this Ten of Cups into the right way up, into alignment, perfection, rather than this dissatisfaction, this uncomfortable feeling, this disappointed in life type of feeling. So it is a bit of a heavy reading for the 4th of February. In the minor scale, not minor, but you know, from worldwide things to bringing it into our own lives, you know, these cards might implicate that, you know, there will be maybe a time for relationship breakups. I don't think very serious relationships, but you know, where relationships have maybe been born out of this distraction, this wand here. Getting up to mischief, you know, making commitments that really they don't want to make. It's distraction. Maybe relationships like that, you know, are really going to feel the strain of this energy, and really feel the truth of this energy coming out, and bringing the truth to what this relationship really is. You know, is it worth juggling? Is it worth, you know, trying to keep in balance when actually it's not serving either party? So that might be something to look out for, and see it as a good thing, in that, you know, that's yet another illusion broken through. That's yet another distraction broken through, for you to be able to start living in truth slowly but surely. On the bottom of the deck, the devil again, you know, and I do feel that, you know, we've tethered ourselves to the wrong things, we've tethered ourselves to the wrong truths, we've tethered ourselves to the wrong relationships, to the partying, whatever it might be for people, and it's time to break from these chains and allow this devil energy to really highlight within these two cards, also the Hermit and the High Priestess, to really highlight the things that, you know, we've built our chains with, that we've, you know, built these chains that are holding these two hostage, because they're standing here quite happily as hostages, you know, they're not struggling, the chains aren't tight. Why? Because to me, in this card, these chains aren't made by the devil himself. These chains are made by people not living in their own truth. So link by link, the more that we live in illusion, the more that we live in our own lies, our own labels, whatever it may be, the more links in the chain, the harder it is to break through. But it is possible to break through, and it is possible to take the kindness of this devil card to show us where these links have been made, where these tethers have been made in our lives, and how to break through, using the Hermit to look within, and the Divine Feminine to support and nurture, and show a self-compassion to self, and go with our intuition, learn to listen to our gut again, because it doesn't really serve us not to. So that's the reading for the 4th, pretty heavy. So, you know, I wish you all the best today. I hope you all have a great day. And if you are going through anything a little bit rocky, a little bit uncomfortable, know that this is just a cycle, that this time will pass, and you can actually choose how this time passes and how quickly this time passes, and what you can actually take from it. You can either choose for this to be a bit of an uncomfortable time, but really on the grand scale of things, a bit of a waste of time, because you take nothing positive from it and you continue to live in illusion. That's fine, it's your choice. Or you can maybe take on board this uncomfortable feeling and flip it around in your head and see this as an opportunity as a good time to break through any illusions that you've built up in your own life, whether it be relationships, whether it be jobs, friendships, groups, whatever it is, drugs, whatever it is. Use this energy to really break through it once and for all and start yourself off a new cycle, a new beginning in something that really serves you, really feeds you and really nurtures you. So much love. Try and be balanced. Try and be whole today. If you like any private readings or energy work, if you're living local to me, massage and much more, check out my details either in the information box above on Facebook or in the drop box below, the description box below on YouTube. Again, you can find me on YouTube, truedivine44, or on Facebook, the True Divine page. Loving all of the support. So wish you much love back.